How are you guys doing? Justice Warriors, good morning. It's Friday, TGIF. Thank you so much for your patience and waiting for me. And let me just change that angle ever so slightly. I think that's probably pretty good right there. My goodness, you guys, Stevie Irwin, are you kidding me? You just got all this, you said absurd information, but it doesn't seem absurd. Where did you find this? I've tried looking this kind of stuff up and have not found anything. Okay, so good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. I don't know if that's Gabby Petito or Christine Randall. Anyway, they're both awesome. Gabby was awesome. Christina always will be awesome. And I guess Gabby always will be awesome too. Anyway, if you're new here, thank you for checking me out. If you are returning, I appreciate you guys so much. And you know that. I try to express it as much as I possibly can without gushing, right? Okay, so everything I say is my opinion only, purely for conversation and speculation, hoping to open up an intelligent discussion, hoping to become educated, hoping that it's educational to anyone else who's interested. And I make my videos specifically for YouTube, which, as we all know, it's an entertainment platform. So I'm just so excited to get right up here and start tagging stuff, but then I'm going to be let's see. Annie Ruler says, Steve, so Brent knew the Moscow cop. So Annie Ruler, it's looking like he served with his brother potentially. So they probably would have known each other. So let's start with pinning Steve's messages. And there were a couple before, like overnight. I think I woke up super early this morning. So I saw that you had a comment maybe 4:30 this morning, and then I commented, and then for some reason those don't show up. So I don't know if you have just reiterated everything or how that goes. But let's start reading these out loud. This is just nuts, isn't it? Stevie says, brother, at least a battalion from Kyle's unit was replacing Brett's unit, and Kyle hopped on a convoy that day. Kyle is 25 and Brett was 23 in 2012 when the article was written. Okay, so we know that Brentkopaka, if I'm saying his name correctly, Brentkopaka, it's confusing with the Bretts and the Brents. Anyway, Mr. Kopaka. We know that he was about 36 when he was unalived by the SWAT team back on December 15th of 2022. We also know that this Corporal Pain is it Matthew Pain? That he's about 26. So it looks like he's got an older brother who's a couple years older than Brett or Brent Kopaka. I'm sorry, there's so many names. It's so confusing, isn't it? I mean, I try so hard to stay on top of it, and they have to do that with all the Bretts and all the Brents and all in one case, right? They can't have like one in each different case. They're out to get us. Okay. So Kyle Payne is Corporal Payne's older brother. I think I have his name right, Matthew Payne. And again, I have my notes all in front of me, but if I look at them, then I'm not looking at you guys. And I have been up since the middle of the night and I haven't had enough coffee, but enough about my problems. Let's just get right on this action here. This is nuts, Stevie. Thank you so much for all this incredible information. And Annie Ruler, you were the one that tipped me off yesterday that maybe Brett and Corporal Payne were together in the service in combat in Afghanistan. And now it looks like Stevie has dug up some more specific information. So it was Kyle Payne, who's 2 years older than, so what would make him like 12 years older than his little brother. And let's see. And my computer's been acting weird this morning too. That was part of the problem. So hopefully we won't have any problems. I have all my cords and everything. I thought, oh no, am I getting hacked? I don't think so, but you never know. There's technical difficulties. I know Harsh has been having technical difficulties these last couple of days too. Anyway, so Stevie says, actually, according to the picture, they definitely look identical. So you're talking about the Pain brothers, the corporal and his older brother, Kyle. Even with a 12-year age difference, they still look identical. Wow. And good morning, Liza. How are you? Stevie says the 4th Brigade Combat Team and 82nd Airborne Division was active from 2006 to 2014, based out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and is an elite division specializing in joint forcible entry operations. Isn't that wild? And then Stevie says that this is absurd. I'll stop. It's just too ridiculous. So I was really curious what you meant by that exactly, Stevie. Like, you mean it's just too ridiculous because it's just too much? Like, it's just like out of control? Like, obviously, you could say it's just a series of crazy coincidences. None of us believe in coincidences. Crime Store Diva, good morning. Did you watch Harsh Reality? Yes. He said a new probable cause affidavit was filed this week and hasn't been released to the public yet. Does that mean the first one wasn't accurate? I don't think so, although I am honestly wondering about the accuracy of the first one. I'm not sure. Of course, I don't think we're going to find out because of the gag order, but this case is just bizarre to me. So I don't think that this affidavit is like overriding that last affidavit. I think Harsh was speculating that it could have to do with the families wanting to be alleviated from the gag order, because really the gag order doesn't apply to them, but they're kind of implying that it does, which is illegal. It's a violation of First Amendment rights. So they're just trying to play it safe and careful. They don't want to upset the judge. They certainly don't want to jeopardize the justice system for their families, right? Stevie, who is Kyle? I'm so lost. So Kyle Pain, it sounds like, is the older brother of Corporal. That's Brett Pain, right? I said Matthew. Okay, I'm gonna just look at my notes because I have all my Bretts and Brents nailed down right here. We've got, are you ready? We got Brent Mortensen. That is allegedly Dylan's father, Brent Mortensen. Brentkopaka is the guy who was swatted in Pullman on December 15th, Brentkopaka. So Brett Pain is the corporal. I am so sorry. I want to apologize for all these Brents and Bretts because it's just boggling to the brain, isn't it? So maybe we should just stick with the last names. But we have Brett Pain is the younger brother of Kyle Pain. So Kyle Pain and Brentkopaka served together in combat in Afghanistan with a special, what was that? The Joint Forcible Entry Operations. So the 82nd Combat Team Division from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. It's just mind-boggling, isn't it? And remember, these are small towns, so people know each other. And then you got these small subpopulations like military or veterans or law enforcement. I wonder what Kyle Pain is doing for work these days, and if he's still in the area, because that would make sense. I had heard that that Corporal Pain was friends with Kopaka, but maybe it's Corporal Pain's older brother that is friends with Kopaka from having served together. But it's just so sad what happened to Brentkopaka on the 15th of December. And I want to talk about that. There's a few things I want to talk about with you guys. But let's get caught up on you first. So back to your question where we started, Annie Ruler, Steve. So Brent knew the Moscow cop. Um, it's very likely, it sounds like. It sounds like Brent uh, definitely knew um, Brett Payne's older brother, Kyle Payne. So Brentkopaka knew Kyle Payne and probably then his little brother. Let's see what else we got here. Um, so yes, did I help? So back to your question, Liza. Who is Kyle? I'm so lost, and now we're lost in the woods of all the Brents and the Brett. So to answer the question specifically, Kyle is Corporal Brett Payne's older brother that served in the military. And I'll just stop right there. I don't want to keep repeating stuff. That's just a waste of all of our time, unless, of course, we're all just so confused we can't figure it out. All righty. And Susan Dodge, thank you for the reminder for please get your likes in there, subscribe, and share if you feel so inclined. Um, I kind of feel a little bit self-conscious. I just like to be really straightforward with you guys. Um, Yesterday, I said in my video that I felt like I was on a roll and that I was afraid I would jinx it by saying that, and I'm sure I did. I'm so superstitious like that. But also, it's like as soon as you think you got something, you get a curveball, right? So late last night, my dear friend Kelly with Watch the Obsession, she did a 2-hour live, and she also maybe it was closer to 3 hours. She also did like a 20-minute video that she dropped earlier in the evening. And you guys know how much I love Kelly. I think she's really sharp. And she was really hammering away on people not speculating so much and just sticking with the facts. And I really respect that, even without her reiteration of that. That's pretty much how I like to roll. However, I'm not trusting the facts. So I feel self conscious for some what could be seen as wild speculation. I honestly don't feel like I'm speculating so much as just wanting to wait and see. I think it's really important that everyone take a step back from, convicting this criminal defendant in the arena of public opinion and that we just let that go until the court. I just feel really, really strongly about that. And while doing that, I am bringing up other possibilities, like all of the guys at the um, Wazoo Police Department who would be much more upset and justified to be in a rage, not like a unaliving spree type of rage, but upset, than somebody who got kicked out of a new graduate school program that he just started. But I'm feeling more and more apprehensive about that whole graduate school BS, the unsubstantiated, unauthenticated letter. I just am not buying it, you guys. I don't even care if it's on Ashley Banfield or Nancy Grace. I'm not buying it. Nobody has shown a receipt. I just don't. I don't. And again, even if it's accurate, it still doesn't show motive. Like nobody's gonna do that over that. I mean, come on. Give me a freaking break. But I just think that unauthenticated letter is BS. I think it's utter BS, in my humble opinion. Like I said, I'll gladly eat crow if I'm incorrect. But that's why I brought up all that stuff yesterday with the 4 police officers from Wazoo that, I've brought them up before. Anyway, I guess there'll be overlaps between people in such a small town. It's not that small of a town, but yes. But especially when you're dealing with the smaller communities, the colleges, the law enforcement, the military, the vets. Absolutely. Hank Stevie, more dots connected. What secret needed cover up? Annie with the good questions always. So what secret needed cover up? So I'm wanting to balance my wild speculation with sticking with the facts, but I feel like I have an answer to that question, but let me get caught up with you guys first. Um, and write that down so I don't forget where we are headed. Um, so Kyle is Brett Payne's older brother, only 2 years age difference. Why am I so confused, Stevie? Thank you. Yeah, because Kopaka was 36 and Corporal Pain 26. So that would make this guy, his older brother, 28. So he would be 8 years younger than Kopaka, right? Um, Stevie, too many coincidences. I know, isn't it just boggling the brain? My goodness. Um, Absolutely too many coincidences. And let me see. Um, and it is absurd. That's where you were making that comment back there. Like, this is absurd. It's just too much. It's just too much. Too much gematria. I don't even know how to say that word, but I'm gonna guess what it is. I'm just gonna highlight it. Yeah, it's kind of like the Matrix or something. Sheath was left there to make cops think of military guy or gal committed the crime. Oh, I totally think so. Heavenly Clouds. It doesn't make sense that it would have been wiped clean unless it was left there on purpose, except that it wasn't wiped clean. We know that there was a strand of DNA on it. A single source strand, I think is how they say it. OMG, Stevie says, is sound off? Is my sound off? What? No. Did I do something? Okay, Annie, I'm hoping that it's just you because nobody else is saying anything like that. And you guys would be like, what? Why are your lips moving? You're just a bobblehead. Okay, Stevie, OMG, the 82nd Airborne Division had 65K on the year 2000. I guess it's possible they ended up in neighborhood towns. Stevie Irwin says Kyle Payne, Army officer, United States Department of Defense, 2009, present, 13 years, 10 months, rifle platoon leader. Wow. Pretty impressive career. So yeah, I had mentioned yesterday again about my grandfather being a colonel in the Army for 30 years until he retired. And then I also have a couple other family members that are more recent in the services. So the armed forces and other more distant relatives that were like civilian serving in the Navy career wise. There's a lot of great careers in the military. And then, if you're a civilian, then you don't have to move around. You get to decide where you live. But those jobs are much harder to come by. Just the facts. Whose facts? Exactly. I know. I love Sergeant Joe Friday from Dragnet. Just the facts, ma'am. Jack Webb. A lot of people don't realize that Jack Webb was the producer of Dragnet and that he kind of started the whole like true crime genre of television that even like Law and Order operates off of his template that he started with. I mean, I just love Jack Webb. Huge fan of his. Just the facts, ma'am. Is that right? I love the way he says that. Is that right? Okay. So 65,000 plus troops. And what does that mean, 65K? Girls knew Brent and let him in. They called Jack to see if he could get DRUGS. No luck. Argument, knife drawn, sheath flying, all hell. So there's a wild speculating theory, but I think that that's fine at this point. I feel honestly like I don't believe anything that's been reported about Dylan. I don't believe any of it. I don't believe any of what she says that she saw or she heard. I don't believe her story about the 8 hours. I believe none of it. I'm also having a lot of trouble believing the whole Moscow PD would allow the lead of a quadruple homicide to arrive 4 hours after the first call, after the first 911 call is made. That's crazy. I know they had officers there right away, but to have the lead when he's not even like a sergeant or a captain or a chief, I would hope that they had the sergeant, the captain, and the chief there before him. But why wouldn't they be the lead? That I just think that that's bizarre, absolutely bizarre. Stevie Irwin, sorry, 65K plus troops. No, the audio of Dylan's friend. Okay, sorry. Got me so confused. The audio interview of Dylan's friend. Is this something that's just come out? Or are you talking about the thing that came out a few weeks ago? I'm so confused. There's so much going on in this case. This is why I like to try to stay focused on one case because I can't imagine like focusing on this case and all the other cases that are going on right now. And the guy who says he's in Dylan's inner circle and his take on what happened. Okay, Blockella, thank you. That I know that Harsh just did that one last night about that. And yeah, I don't know what to think of that audio thing, podcast, whatever you want to call it. You know, the guy sounds like Cheech and Chong, and he sounds a lot older than these kids. What he's trying to say that he's the boyfriend of one of Dylan's good friends. Not buying any of what he's saying either. I just can't. I can't go there. And especially with the little cartoon drawing that they had for the thumbnail and for like the whole podcast. It's just like, what? It's a good story. It's a good theory, but I don't think that it holds any water, in my opinion. You guys know I'm so skeptical. I feel like I was completely had by that little Gigi thing, and I'm sorry. I'd hate bringing up negativity, but I felt like I got tricked. And so I even went back in my video where I had the link in the description and I took it out and I said, sorry, I had to take it out. Sorry, I felt like I got tricked. I apologize for being so gullible, basically. You know how skeptical I tend to be because we need to be, especially in YouTube land. The streets of YouTube are rough, man. We're all getting our arses kicked, right? And it's so much of this trickery, the catfishing, as I like to say. And it's just insanity. I think a lot of people are doing it for money, for clicks, for likes, for subs. They're doing it for all the wrong reasons. You know, that's what makes a lot of people tick is fame and fortune. And I've been around it enough. I've seen the other side. It's not anything that is healthy, honestly. I mean, look at Kurt Cobain. He's a perfect example. You got Janis Joplin, you got Jimi Hendrix, you got a lot of movie stars. I'm just going to tell you straight up, you guys, most people in the entertainment industry, in my experience, are completely addicted to a substance, if not substances. I know that sounds harsh, but that's the reality that I grew up with. I grew up some of my years in Malibu, California. So I've been around a lot of famous people for a good portion of my life. A lot of super wealthy, super famous, and it's not something that makes people happy. It just isn't. People think they want that, and then they get there, and it's unfulfilling, and it's just a lot of backstabbing. Anyway, so let's see. That guy, yeah, does he even, he doesn't say a name, does he? Of course not. You know, which who would, but Gematria, is that from the movie Mummy? We just watched it last night. Oh, I haven't seen that Mummy movie in forever. Isn't that with that hottie Brendan somebody? Um, let's see. Where are we at? I got behind you guys, so I'm catching up with you. Trying anyway. It's nice when there's so many comments that I can't keep up, but it is so hard to balance it all. Okay, so I wanted to know that they were also both in the 4th Brigade and both deployed in Afghanistan, if that changes anything. Well, I'm sure that there's very likely some serious bonding that goes on with that. And G man tree it's a numerical value of letters, a form of magic through letters and words. So how come I've never heard of this, GOP Nick? I'm not saying I don't believe you. It's just hilarious because I'm into stuff like that. Like I've always been into numerology and, just interesting things. So I've literally never heard this word until this morning. G mantria. It's a numerical value of letters, a form of magic through letters and words. Okay. Let me just go down a little rabbit hole real quick, or on a quick tangent. You guys know that back in the day that numbers were only allowed to be used by wizards and royalty. Like common folks were not allowed to use numbers, period. It was reserved for special people. I just had to throw that in there. Anti-ruler ended up, my sound was off. Okay. Well, we're all human, huh? I'm glad that you said something. I'm glad that it worked out. I'm glad that the whole video wasn't like screwed to hell in a handbasket. I feel like these police departments didn't want us to speculate so much. They would give us factual information to begin with. Well, Squirrely Burger, I think that they're hiding some huge things, and I'll get there in just a second. I really want to get up to the moment with you guys. Blockella says, I think it was Jack Webb's mission to never crack a smile during filming. Oh, I saw that smile every so often. He couldn't help it. Maybe Corporal Pain is working with some kind of heavy work using a forklift and such heavy equipment. I have no idea where that's coming from. Monique Cole, I don't know what you mean by that. Yes, that is what they were doing on the mummy. Okay, GOP Nick, thanks. Why the FBI selected Corporal Pain with so little experience to be in charge of a quadruple unaliving, I will selected my most seasoned personnel. So I think that it's Moscow PD that he was selected by. So that would rest on the shoulders of Police Chief James Fry, that it was his decision to put Corporal Pain in charge of it. And yeah, when you're dealing with a situation like that, the local PD is going to be in charge, like, what happened with the Kylie Rodney case with Nevada County Sheriff's Department. And then you've got the FBI stepping in. And of course, the FBI is going to step in on this because it happened so close to the border of the state. So you have two states that you're dealing with even before you know anything. And when you've got a quadruple passing away so violently like that, it's a really big deal, you guys. It's a really big deal, especially on a college campus in a location like that. So, right. Why would Chief James Fry select him? And yeah, why would the FBI seemingly be taking such a back seat, especially with, the whole department doesn't have to deal with such violent crime too often. I mean, none of it makes sense. This case needs a 20-foot wide whiteboard. You mean like a crazy board? Like a cork board with a bunch of push pins and pieces of yarn? That would actually, I think you're right. Dylan's friend sounds fake. I think that he's a total fake. I was surprised that Harsh was playing it on his show and going with the idea that it might be genuine. I don't think there's very much in this whole case that's genuine so far, other than the families that are suffering massively from losing their loved ones, and the loved ones who have lost their lives right basically at the beginning of their lives. Um, and Jen says, I know, like, what? Oh no, I'm late, but I'm here. GOP Nick, it's the only upload on that channel too. So Clout Chaser or some on Brian's side, because it's definitely not on Dylan's side. Oh, the only upload on that one that we're talking about that Harsh did, because the other one that I was talking about that we were talking about, you guys shared it with me, I think, on Monday, and then I put it in the description on Tuesday and spoke about it. That channel only has 2 videos, and that's the longer one of the 2. And, she's just like gone mad with a whole bunch of little shorts. And I am going to bet my bottom dollar that that woman's a paid actress. I mean, if you read through the comments, it just is so contrived. It just like she's trying too hard, and she's knows too much about YouTube to be brand new at it. She's got her little headphones and everything. It's just weird. Um, and we can't trust anybody out here, right? I mean, seriously, the streets of YouTube will kick your butt. I mean, chew you up and spit you out. Oh, yeah. So the clout chaser. So when you were saying that, GOP Nick, and you were talking about the guy that's saying that he's boyfriend of Dylan's close friend, and I thought you were talking about this other female that, you know, these people are so dangerous as far as I'm concerned. So dangerous. Again, if that letter were real, you shouldn't be putting it on YouTube, right? Period. It's all about the clout chasing. And then, the trickery. And if it's real, I'll have my mind blown. I'm thinking that it's a huge fake, and that somebody like Ashley Banfield, who's already covered it, and I think Nancy Grace did too, they're gonna be having to figure out some serious damage control or something. I mean, we'll see what happens with it, but it certainly shouldn't be leaking onto freaking YouTube. But it doesn't seem authentic to me at all. You just wouldn't have that quick of a reaction to somebody being sexist or, unprofessional. It just doesn't happen that quick. It takes more time. Like, everybody's busy. They don't like notice right away and then set up a meeting for the next day and then get the email out the next day, unless it was written retroactively to really try to wash their hands of him, which I believe it's legal to write something retroactively and put it into effect retroactively, but it's not legal to fabricate lies. So we'll see. I don't think that it's from the school. I don't think it's from Wazoo. That's my opinion. I think it's from somebody's, place where the sun don't shine. Anyway, we're going to get caught up. I like what you said here, Heavenly Clouds, because I feel like I need a little boost of confidence. Like, I feel like I'm running a good channel, but then I'm like, am I? I want to be genuine and authentic, and I feel like that new channel that I was talking about is mocking people like me. and I can thicken my skin, it's part of being on YouTube. You're gonna get kicked around. So that's why you have to know that you really believe in what you're doing and that it's important to you. And for the right reasons. I mean, I haven't made a dime with this, you guys, and I really don't care if I ever do. I've spent a lot of money making my channel, and that's fine with me if it stays like that. I don't care. That's not my point. My point is honestly justice. It's like, seriously, come on. I'm in it to win it, baby. Ugh. And I'm not going to tell you that I'm real and that I'm never going to lie to you, because that's just crazy. Which one of you was it? Was it Heavenly Clouds who said, yeah, if you're never going to lie to somebody, you don't need to tell them that you're never going to lie to them, do you? Goodness gracious. And let's see. Crime Story Diva says, where is Ashley Banfield getting all of her information? I know she keeps saying some secret source. I can't tell you my secret source. That's BS. You can't do that when you're big time news person, but I guess, if you want to like take YouTube down at the kneecaps, that's how you do it. She is saying a source close to the investigation says Dylan's story is different than what the affidavit says. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not even trusting Ashley Banfield at this moment. Um, it's Jewish. Oh, the thing with the numerology and the words, that's cool. Okay, I am getting caught up, you guys, I swear. Please respond to a call at 11:58. Forensic team is there setting up when Brett Pain arrives. 4 hours later, initial officer walks Brett Pain through at 4 p.m. No way, 4 hours later. He spots the sheath from outside the room. And yeah, it was stated or speculated that the people earlier there hadn't spotted it. That's crazy. Hey, Pixie Knickers, good morning and hoping for answers. And Annie Ruler says, does FBI assign local law enforcement detectives or did police chief select the corporal? And yeah, I was just answering that. So I'm behind you guys like 6 minutes. So yeah, that was the police chief, to my understanding, from all of the press releases and those types of things, press conferences. Jen says, according to Harsh, wait, where'd it go? That's what happens when you get behind. I'm so far behind, you guys. I'm never going to get caught up. No, I'm bound and determined. According to Harsh, this AM, there has been a new affidavit by the prosecution. It has been sealed for security so far. Right. I know. I keep up with my Harsh. I really do. Squirrely Burger. Oh, and he was done so early this morning because I think at 5 o'clock my time, I was watching it. And it was done an hour ago already. He usually doesn't get them up until about 7 o'clock my time, I think, maybe 6:30. No, more like 7:30. Anyway, Squirrely Burger, I will never, ever, ever get over the forensic investigator specifying it was a 10-year-old car ever. So you mean like being off, like they're saying that this expert was wrong by a few years with the white Hyundai Elantra? Now a new affidavit filed Wednesday, right? Local LE assuming Chief Fry. Squirrely Burger first, Ethan's sister-in-law, not confirmed. Second, Dylan's friend, who will be the one for the weekend. If I were any of the above, I would never open my mouth. Well, I think that Ethan's sister-in-law has been confirmed, Liza, to my understanding. It's been like cross-referenced and confirmed as much as can be. And Sifa says morning. And yes, Wednesday feels like defense is planting seeds. Well, that's what I think with defense is planting seeds or the police department's planting seeds, like trying to convict this criminal defendant before his trial even begins. I mean, it's ridiculous. I've not seen the other one. We'll have a look. I was out Monday walking. Right. Good morning, Pixie. Oh, the mummy, they pronounced it Motra. Brendan Fraser is so excellent. That's the hottie I was talking about. I love that guy. He was so cute. Probably still is. I haven't seen him in a while. WSU responded to the Freedom of Information Act that they couldn't release that record due to legal reasons. BK wasn't fired until after his arrest. He was, I think, just like dismissed from the program. He was arrested on December 30th, and they dismissed him out of their program as quickly as they could. So I don't know the exact date, but they might have even done it before he got taken into custody. I mean, they were quick to get rid of him. And understandably so. If, even if he's found innocent, they don't want their names dragged through the mud with this. And I feel like these channels with one video trying to debunk this scenario, it's got to be fake. But Dr. Thrifty latest video, he might be onto something. He sounded very angry in his last video. Yeah, it's also hard when you can't see someone's face. And YouTube quit allowing that. Like Paula Plunder's a really good example. She never showed her face just for privacy reasons. And they quit allowing her to have her videos. And now you'll see she's got her full body in all of her videos. And that was because YouTube. They pretty much forced it. So why they're letting these new channels get away with this is bizarre. It's really weird. And yeah, if you think a channel is BS, that you just report them, and the more reports they get, then the less likely it is that they'll stay around. They just needed views now because the case is not bringing out new details, so people are making stuff up. Yeah. And people are just attention whores. I hate to say that. I hate to be negative. I hate to be a hater. Haters gonna hate, I like to stay positive. Glad you're here, going to the trial coverage. Cool. Yeah, that Murdoch trial, I can't. I just can't stomach it. I had been watching that case over the years, wondering why nobody was getting arrested and stuff. I was just like, it just puts my stomach in a knot. It's like too little too late for me at this point. It's ridiculous. Xena, you are a true warrior. Oh, you're so nice, Heavenly Clouds. It's so nice of you to say that. I appreciate it. Sifa, you're amazing. That's why I love watching you. You're real and your feelings are genuine. Aw, you guys. You've created a beautiful environment around you that we love to join with coffee and intelligent conversation. And when you say beautiful environment, I know you're talking about my viewers and spectators out there, but no, I know you're talking about this too, because I do get a little wild with all my lights and flowers, and yeah, I try not to make it too goofy, but I do like goofy, like those little bunny rabbits and stuff. I'll get those back for you. Or the tiny ironing board. I'm gonna get the tiny ironing board and put the bunny rabbits on it. Okay, there we go. We're set. That's the plan. Okay. How far behind am I? I'm like 6 minutes behind still. WSU has to have a hearing before they can let a TA go, and BK hasn't had his hearing yet. BK will miss his hearing because he is in jail, so he will be let go soon, but not yet. Heather Mosier, the other thing was it said that they let him go on December 19th, and I'm thinking, well, did he know that on December 19th? Because he was in Pennsylvania. Was there an email? Was there a conference call? What was it? Was it a letter? Did he find out, or what? How can it be official? And over Christmas break, right? When school's out, like they're not there. The administration's not there. They're not going to be doing that stuff on Christmas break. I mean, unless they know that he's being accused of these things, then maybe. I can't believe you just said take YouTube down at the kneecap, because that's what I've been thinking the whole time. There's a new law coming soon against hate speech, aka questioning government. Oh my goodness, Squirrely Burger. Well, they can't do that in this country. The thing with YouTube is that it's worldwide. And that's the one thing that we can hold on to in our country, no matter how bad things get, is that we are allowed to question our government. And I do not take that for granted. That is what so many people have fought and died for, in my opinion. So yeah, and then we get into the whole Tanya Harding conversation with Nancy Kerrigan and the kneecap thing. Okay, we're not going there again. And please, I watch your commercials trying down here. Oh, do I have commercials now? Because they say that I'm monetized, but like I said, it's hasn't really happened, but that's okay. I'm patient, and that's not why I'm doing it. So it's all good as far as I'm concerned. I'm happy to have my channel. So happy to have my channel. So happy to have you guys. So thank you for being here. I'll remind you again to please hit the thumbs up if you haven't yet, because it's so easy to forget, and it does a lot for the channel. And I am trying to think of how I can beef up my channel some more, because I don't want it to get so weak that it disappears. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to maybe do my one longer live video in the morning, and then in the afternoon do a shorter, like a Cliff Notes version of the conversation that we're having, because not everybody wants a 1 hour video. And I know sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do. Um, but I really like just that it's evolved like this. Like, I didn't set out to make it like this. This is just what it's become, and it works for me, and it seems to work for a lot of you guys. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's nice just to kind of go with the flow and be spontaneous and figure it out as you go. That's to me how life is. In reference to the strength of this person who might have committed plus working for a living where no one would suspect this person, ex-service person. I'm late to the game. Queen of Rabbit Holes has such a funny handle. If they thought it was an 1113, they would have looked at older or newer models immediately. No way. They announced publicly that they had an epiphany. 14s to 16s are similar a week later for no reason. Yeah, that whole thing is fishy. Fishy AF. And they're all like, yeah, we had a handle the whole time. We knew it was him like the very next day. Yeah. Which is why anyway, American Princess says the coroner showed up at about 5 p.m. that day too. Yeah. Ugh, really horrifying. I mean, I've been around some stuff like that, and yeah, you don't allow that much time to pass. You just don't. You just don't. I mean, it's horrible for the decomposition. You're the evidence is disintegrating. The 4 hours of the investigation that was lost when the lead on the investigation wasn't there yet, adding that to the 8 hours before. When you have a huge important investigation like that, you're not going to lose a second that you don't have to lose as law enforcement. Yeah, like they were in no hurry. And am in a hurry right now trying to get caught up with you guys. I think BK was the driver, getting even stronger now that he was involved, but not the unaliver. It's so hard to say. It's so hard to say. Was Harsh the neighbor a user dealer? Was Brian using again and his phone pinged coming to buy things from the house next door on King Road? That neighbor guy is obsessed with the case. I believe that allegedly Enon Harsh was a user and that he's like a convicted felon. So yeah, he's definitely weird. And I'm sorry that I'm not making sense. So many things on my mind that distractions are ever present. I just hope that some of what it says puts questions into people to look for more information. You make your channel homey and welcoming. Aw. I like to be comfortable, and I like, I'm very artistic. I like the visual stimulation, and I like the color. Like, for a while there, I was trying to like keep it all professional, and it was just like so beige. If you guys remember, like my early videos, everything was just like neutral, like way too much. It was crazy. So then I started putting some color in there. Fixate Knickers. I love that tiny ironing board. I love miniatures. Oh, it's so funny. I know. Me too. Me too. Was the neighbor Harsh and Brian friends? Not that we know of. Not that's out there in the public arena. That is the exact direction that I was going. Last night, a commenter said Harsh moved from King Road neighborhood. Anyone confirm? I have no idea. None whatsoever. Enon Harsh is sus. He's definitely an oddball, and he's changed up his story. But Annie Ruler, you bring to mind, like, what about Jack D? Like, is he still living in the same place right across the street from where this happened? Like, that would give you PTSD right there. So I'm still suspicious of that kid too. I hate to say it, but I'm just keeping it real, just being honest. I don't trust Banfield's information either without receipts. I just can't believe she's doing it. It's unprofessional. She should just say, you know, I'll tell you about these things that I'm trying to find the receipts for, and then we'll get more into it later. But I can't tell you much now because I don't know if it's accurate or not. It's weird that BK was a problem here, but prior to him going to the university, there are zero accounts of any issues with his conduct that warrant actual concern. They're hanging him out to dry. GOP Nick, I was just listening the other day to the one of the professors from DeSales University that recommended him for the program, who said in her 10 years of teaching that he was like her best student ever, and that she's only recommended 2 students for doctoral programs, and that he was always polite, and that he never had any issues, and that he wasn't sexist. But that whole thing with calling him sexist, which is like, to me, so laughable because everything in our world is sexist. But it's like trying to, again, like set the motive and the groundwork that he's so misogynistic that he wants to destroy these 3 women. And there was a guy there, so he took him out too because he was in the way of his misogyny, right? Something like that. YouTube has double standards. Listen to some of the lyrics, way worse than saying red rum. Right, right. And then people like All American Dream Catcher that says the most insane, disgusting, vile, illegal, criminal, scum of the earth type of crap. And he's still on. Like, he should literally be getting thoroughly investigated for potential criminal activity and arrest. What? American Princess Dylan waits 8 hours to call the police chief. Fry was on vacation. Lead investigator shows up 4 hours later, and the coroner shows up 5 hours later. Can't make this up. No, and Stevie, that, was he really on vacation or was he on vacation? Like, maybe that was planned for him to not be there. Maybe it was, again, speculation, but I've seen that happen where people are just absent so that crap can go down. And again, my first knee-jerk reaction when this happened was the only way something this heinous could happen is if law enforcement allowed it to happen and knew it was coming. Because they should be furious for witnesses to wait 8 hours to call them. They should be absolutely furious. That goes without question, but it's just looking more and more like there's the type of activity that makes a lot of money, that all of these industries are on the take. The university, the Greek system, the law enforcement, they're all on the take. They're all covering it up together. And, when you're in a sorority, you start there. You don't call the police, you call your handler, right? Like, I'm not buying any of this. No. And police departments always have supervisors on call that are not allowed to leave the area. They're not allowed to be more than 30 minutes away over a weekend in case something like this happens. That's how you run a police department. Yes, you do have commercials. Oh, I'm so sorry. GOP Nick, the beer bar, and see, they're making money off of me, but they better share, right? The beer bar in Pennsylvania had criminal defendant. How many bars did not ID people that had issues with him? Right, there was that beer bar, and that was pretty far-fetched. Like, oh, we keep notes on all of our rude customers. Really? Because when you are a server, I was a food server for 4 months when I was 19 years old back in the mid to late 80s. People are rude all the freaking time. And I was in a nice place where it wasn't like that. But people are rude to servers. People are rude to the grocery store clerks. People are rude to the gas station attendants. People are freaking rude. When you're dealing with the public, they're a-holes, right? I mean, come on. We all know that. Like, they're going to keep notes on what type of a-hole each jerk is. Come on. Wow, I hadn't really thought about that until your comment. Annie, ah, you guys are awesome. So good point. And I keep promise you I'm getting caught up, and I keep promising what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down where I'm at, because I'm at 10:03 and I cannot get caught up. See, I've fallen behind even more. I'm 10 minutes behind. So what couple of important things that I feel necessary to discuss with you guys this morning. The main one is, let's just jump over to the Pullman situation last Friday, a week ago today, with the graduate student who had the really scary situation with the black car parked in front of her house. And she called the police, and they came, and as I think it was Annie Ruler that pointed out, they didn't take fingerprints or touch DNA from him trying to get into the door, but they said, oh, well, we can't find him, so we'll just send out some extra patrols tonight. And then they put up their statement, making her sound like a hypervigilant hypochondriac, like that this guy was just ringing her doorbell and tried to turn the doorknob, and she just like flipped out over it and left town, right? So did you hear a representative of the police department? I think it was Pullman PD, could be the university police, but I'm pretty sure it was the city police, that literally said, this is how they're handling the situation. They are requesting that whoever it was come talk to them and tell them if there's a reasonable explanation other than a nefarious explanation for what happened. Like, you're the cops. You don't ask the criminals to come in and explain themselves to you. You hunt them down and you drag them in and you make them talk. Basically, his spin on things was like it was just a big misunderstanding and he just wants to understand the other side of the story. Like, seriously, did you guys catch that? That was nuts. I didn't write down his name, I don't think. Oh, it really upset me even further. So yeah, he literally publicly requested that the suspect get a hold of the department and explain why they acted in that manner. Did you go to the police academy? Is that what they taught you there? I doubt it. Seriously doubt it. So, let's see. Brian, our criminal defendant, left. Did I already say this earlier in this live? He left the area the day before the SWAT team situation started. The criminal defendant and his father, I believe, got into the car and drove away from the apartment on December 13th. And immediately the FBI lost them for 13 hours. Like, that's a little too reminiscent of losing Brian Laundrie. Like, really, you've got this extremely dangerous unaliver suspect, alleged, and you just lost track of them. Wow. So they never found Brian Laundrie ever, right? They found a tooth and a notebook and a half note and a dry bag and a hat with Moab coffee bean roasters on it. So they knew it was him. Where was his driver's license? Anyway, I'm getting off track. Stay focused on this other Brian that they lost track of, okay? So he leaves town with his daddy. They drive down to Colorado, and then on their way from Colorado to Indiana, this guy, Brentkopaka, gets unalived by the SWAT team. So was that just like a coincidence, the timing there, that he left town the day before that situation started? Because it started on the 14th. I think it went on for like over 12 hours. And I think it just barely like spilled over onto the 15th, like maybe 1:00 in the morning or something. I could be inaccurate there. I'm really going off the top of my head. So, yeah. There's just too many coincidences. Way too many coincidences. So, let's talk about the Facebook meanies, the internet meanies, because they are all out to get us, right? Was that just yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday. That crazy what's war guy who was here. That was so funny. I was just really, that was really funny. Like, why do people do this? Anyway, I like to call them the internet meanies. They're out to get you. Watch out. Right? We got to help each other out here. Okay, so I am going to get caught up. We are at 1 hour. I am so far behind. I hate missing your comments. So let me try to speed read with you guys if you don't mind. Screen down if on phone. Oh, anyone know how to refresh here? Pull screen down if on phone. The entire case is fishy AF. That's true. You say fishy. I say I smell a rat. Absolutely. I think I smell a bunch of them. Doctors in California are not allowed to question government as in treatments, etc. Yeah, well, we can question our government, but we're not allowed to question insurance companies, right? I mean, that's the real government. You guys have all seen The Fugitive, one of the best movies in the world, in my opinion. Heather Mosier, the affidavit makes it sound like he never, ever even parked. Like he dropped someone off at 3:45 and then circled area until pickup. I'm still laughing about somebody who in the comments section put the other day, and I can't remember if it was you, Stevie, or someone else, who said the only thing that we know he's guilty of is driving around in circles. Hold on one sec. All right, just turn that off. The affidavit makes it sound like he never even parked. It makes more sense that someone stayed in the car driving around. You know, it never made sense to me that anybody would drive a car to a location where they're going to commit a crime like that, because they know that everybody's got Ring doorbell cams and that there's traffic cams and that everybody's got their cell phone. It never made sense to me. I had a lot of trouble buying that. I think I still do. Harsh works at a vegan restaurant right near Brian's house. Oh, wait. So there is a vegan restaurant by his house, so he doesn't have to go over to the Mad Greek? Sorry. Stop. Why is my phone not responding? Should I throw it across the room? Remember when I did that a while ago, you guys? That's so funny. That's really weird. Again, the technology is like I should be able to turn off the ringer and it's not allowing it. Sorry for that long distraction of dead airtime. And see, if I edit it out, then all the comments in the comment section go away, all the likes go away, all the views go away. And it's just a huge pain. And I just like to leave everything in there. So I'm not going to edit it out. Anyway, you can fast forward through it, right? I can put it in the description. Fast forward through these parts where my phone is ringing and I'm talking in circles, trying to catch up with you guys. Okay, vegan restaurant. And we found our Harsh has 2 apartments, one next to, ew, Heather. See, this is why I don't want to miss your comments. Imagine if I missed that comment. What a waste the whole video would be if I didn't catch that one. He has 2 apartments, one next to that house and one 7 miles away. Oh my goodness. I am just going to throw it over there. Okay. You can probably still hear it, but it should be less distracting to me. What it does is it undoes my brain. It's so annoying. I heard the same thing, has 2 apartments, he's vegan. He said he was vegan on the first interview. He did. They sound like they could be best buds. You never know. BK went from being bullied to being the bully. His behavior and reputation could change depending on it if he was using or not using at the time. Commercial is only on before we get to your channel, then we can skip. You should be getting some money, I would think, maybe to get a cup of coffee. Yeah, that's, it all adds up. I mean, I always say, even if it's just like $20, it's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, right? Um, I knew that Chief Fry was on vacation and that it was 8 hours before a phone call was made to 911. It's so weird that Dylan didn't even make the 911 call. It was someone else. Right. And like, why do they specify that it was with one of the roommates' phones, but then it was somebody else that made the call? Like, why are they going to give us all those details, but they're still not going to release the call? And, that's really going against the Sunshine Law. Yes, be seen in pic at Corner Club, then be on vacation. Oh, if that's him, you think that's him at the Corner Club? I mean, I certainly think it could be him, but I haven't had that verified by anyone at all, ever. People act like the photograph doesn't exist or that it's a fake, and we know it's not, and that it does exist. And who is the guy? If it's not him, who is the guy that doesn't want anyone to know that he was there? Cellophane over his face in the picture, mannerisms, same though. See, that's what I thought. I said a piece of plastic Annie ruler, but yeah, that's exactly what I thought, that they put like a piece of cellophane over that. Good call. That's BS about asking the guy to go talk to the popo. I mean, that's pretty flippin' unprofessional. That's not how you fight crime. Oh my goodness, that's from outer space. K. Mattison, are you talking about that same thing? My boyfriend has a place in Vegas. Man was shot in small bar. They now have the driver's license scanner. Makes me happy. Safer. Oh, definitely. Um, Annie Ruler, that picture was amazing when it dropped at the height of the frat boy conspiracies. LOL. So, you guys, just to reiterate, the photograph from the back of the bar from the Corner Club, that was leaked on December 27th. It was confirmed that it was Jack D speaking to the girls on December 29th from multiple sources. And then it was the 30th that the criminal defendant was arrested. And then everybody forgot about that freaking photograph for a while anyway. I'm glad to see other channels talking about it too, because I'm not going to let that one go. There's something up with that. There's a lot up with that. Could this all be a college frat cover-up? Could be. This all just takes me back to the KR case, drug dealing, corrupt police covering up the story. I would not disagree with you or argue with you at all. Squirrely Burger. Juniper Rob says the girls had to have known and let the perp into their room. Door would have been locked, especially since Xana had her locks changed a week earlier. Right. And we all know that most violent crimes are people that know each other. It's very rare that it's a random boogeyman. It's very rare. Extremely, extraordinarily rare. That's just not how things go. Usually. It does happen once in a while. I mean, we all know Ted Bundy existed. We all know that, other like Dennis Rader and the Green River Killer. Yeah, there are boogeymen out there. But even them kind of got to know people that they would target, right? Heavenly Cloud says my phone sucks. I know. Well, why wouldn't my stupid ringer turn off? That was really bothering me. Like 3 in a row. Oh, my daffodils are blooming. Squirrely Burger. I know it's like spring in February, huh? Those internet meanies calling you to distract you. Thank you for the awesome laugh, Heavenly Clouds. That was perfect. It was verified that it's the owner of the corner club. No, it's not the Nora's grandma. Look at my thing. Sorry. I don't know if it was you who said that before. Other people have said that. It's 100% not the owner of the corner club, unless there's more than one owner. So, is it Mark Trivelpiece? Again, off the top of my head. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. The guy who owns the bar, I have photographs of him and his name in my community feed, the community posts. So please look there. You'll see what he looks like. You'll see his name, and it's 100% not him. He's not built like him. He doesn't look anything like him. Mark Crivelpiece is a lot younger, a lot more buff, bigger, taller, brown hair. Doesn't look anything like that guy. But it's a good guess that it would be the owner, because why else would some middle-aged dude be hanging out with frat boys on a Saturday night in a bar? Answer me that. Only if he's the owner, right? Driving in circles, Les gave time for DoorDash, made it look like the criminal defendant knew the food was coming. Yeah. And I still want to know what the order was, and if it was order for two, because I would imagine that it was. Like, Xana's not going to be awake at 4 a.m. eating by herself when her and her boyfriend, if they hang out together all the time, he's going to be hungry too. So she's going to get him food too. And, it just seems abundantly clear at this juncture that they were both wide awake. Good morning. Just jumping in for frogs. Well, we're just getting ready to jump out. We are way over the hour mark, and I am like almost caught up. I was going to say I'm still 10 minutes behind you guys. I am like right here with you. I can't believe it. I made it. I better stop while I'm ahead, huh? Happy Friday, Xena and Justice Warriors. Thank you. And Sifa says, sorry, I didn't get a chance to fix up that corner club photo more yesterday. I'll try to get it done today. Oh, you're awesome. I sent you a couple of questions, Sifa, last night, if you haven't checked your email yet. Or was it early this morning? I think it was 4 this morning when I woke up so ridiculously early. 8 hours does no justice for the prosecution's case and Dylan's credibility. No. I mean, sure, if she was tied up for 8 hours, that would explain it, right? Some bad guy had her tied up. But that's never been part of the explanation. I mean, the first explanation was the frozen fear thing. Okay. But then how did you call these other people? And for the police chief to say these other people were summoned and to say it like it's no big deal. Oh, well, she summoned her friends and then eventually they called us and then we got there and it's all cool. Leave her alone. The leave them alone roommates. No, you don't summon your friends and have them come over and contaminate the crime scene without pissing off the cops and making the cops really suspicious and want to arrest you. So, Nora's grandma, there's a video of an owner at an outdoor party. Not sure if it's for the bar or what. I can't remember, but he's cooking on a huge grill. I think it was on Grizzly's channel. Well, check out my community post from, I want to say it was a month ago that I put up the photograph, but I've got photographs of Chief Fry, I've got photographs of the bar owner, and I've got the photographs of the man without a face. So you can see pretty easily with the naked eye what's going on there, in my opinion. I think it unfortunately was the bar owner. There's more recent pictures where he got fatter, his goatee has grayed, and has been seen wearing a hat with sunglasses on most occasions. I don't buy it, Stevie. I just don't. I mean, I trust you, but I would think that if you've seen that's stuff that they've manufactured to try to cover for that screenshot, for that leaked picture. That would be my guess. Because, yeah, he's only 40-ish at this point in time. He was in his 20s when he bought that bar, over 12 or 13 years ago, I think. So, yeah, I've done a little bit of research on the bar owner. It's possible that there's a new bar owner. It's possible that there's more than one bar owner, but I'd like to see the pictures that you're talking about. So yeah, maybe I'll check that out over on Grizzly if it's there. I don't know what is true. No, I don't think any of us know what's true. It's okay. We're trying to figure it out, you know? I mean, sometimes it's just like, why are we hitting our head against this brick wall? But I think it's important. If stuff's going on like what was going on in Truckee, like it's really important that people shine a light on that. Those things cannot happen. Like people have got to focus on that. And when the public arena is looking at it with whether it's YouTube or the news media, whatever it is, that public attention puts more pressure on law enforcement to do their job and to do it swifter and more accurately and all that good stuff. So, citizens play a huge role in a democracy. Without citizen participation, you don't have a democracy. So, all right, you guys, on that, let's wrap it up for this morning. Like I said, I was going to try to do a shorter, condensed Cliff Notes version of this video for this afternoon. And so I want to just try to like take it down a notch because I'm just like, the whole thing is just crazy. Like, we're never going to make sense of it. So let's just give up. No, I love doing my 2 videos a day, but I just feel like it's a little bit much today. So we'll take it day by day right now. That's my plan, is to just drop a not live video. So we'll try it like that, see how that works. Give me your feedback. Please have a great day. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you. And eat, pray, love. Make sure you get your exercise, your fruits and your veggies and your high protein, and you stay hydrated. And just that you're nice to people and you make sure that people are nice to you. And what else? Pay attention to your surroundings. Stay safe. That's so important. Just make the most of every day because we just don't know what each day is going to hold, right? And give your animals and your family members and friends a hug and a kiss and tell them that you love them. You guys have a great rest of your morning and a great Friday. And hopefully I'll be dropping a short one this afternoon. And then I'll be doing something over the weekend, I'm sure. So I'll keep you posted. And then we know we have our scheduled structure of weekdays, a morning video, and then we'll see how it goes with possibly weekdays and afternoon short video. So weekday mornings will be a longer live like right now. So thanks so much for being here. You guys are the best. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate your time. I apologize for the dead time that was in this video today. Like I said, I don't want to edit it out just because then you lose stuff. So I like to just keep it as is. It's all right to have it be far from perfect because we're all far from perfect, right? All right. Take care, you guys.